السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي هارون أخي اشدد به أزري ويشرك في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. اللهم أنت ربي لا إله إلا أنت خلقتني وأنا عبدك وعلى عهدك ووعدك ما استطعت وأعوذ بك من شر ما صنعت وأبوء لك بذنبي فاغفر لي فإنه لا يغفر الذنوب إلا أنت. وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم. ربنا اغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Welcome everyone. Inshallah everyone is doing well. Yeah. All right. Inshallah. Now we have been studying section Yasin, and we studied verse 77, and we talked quite extensively about why human beings become fear adversaries of their creator, although they are created out of just a mere cell. We discussed about this matter, so I shouldn't go over it again because we really extensively studied this verse, and it is in YouTube video recordings, so they can go and see or listen to it if they are particularly interested in this section. Now, we have to come here and study 78. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وضرب لنا مثلا ونسي خلقه قال من يحيي العظام وهي رميم. Now, although the man was created, human beings were created only in the form of a cell, but let's read the translation. Now he argues about us, while he overlooks how he himself was created. He says, who will give life to decayed bones? Now, arrogance is studied against the Creator in the previous verse. Now, again, human beings not only take an arrogant attitude towards their Creator, not all of them, but some of them definitely. Some of them take an arrogant attitude towards adversary, becomes adversary to their Creator. But here, another question is presented to us. Not only they argue against the Creator, but they also argue about the news of the message of the Qur'an that human beings will be recreated, resurrected after death. And the argument they brought up is how he himself, without thinking how he himself was created, they present the question, who will give life to decayed bones. The Quran is presenting this subject to us in an interesting way. Why? Although some people are doubtful or they deny the resurrection, but these people don't think of their previous, not previous, their existence in this world, how they were created. Because I think there must be a problem. We will study about two different concepts introduced here in this verse. And my question was to all of us, what can be the main reason for people to believe that the reality of hereafter or resurrection? What can be the main reason for people not to believe the reality of hereafter or resurrection? I'm sorry, this is a very serious problem. So let me correct it. Even we can make it, yeah. Not to believe, all right. So not to believe the reality of hereafter or resurrection. What can be the main reason? The first section about this, and if we really pay attention to the verse, the answer is very clear and simple. Would anybody like to share?
Well, one understanding would be they only look at their body. They don't see maybe their spirit in a way that they have.
I didn't understand.
I said they can only look at from their body side. That's one understanding I would take, not the human spirit. So they can say, what's the resurrection? Because they're only seeing the bodily aspect, and they see that being decayed. And there's no sign that decayed bodies are kind of in the universe coming alive again, except maybe in the form of like soil. They become soil, for example, in plants, but there's no spiritual aspect in them. So
yeah, but isn't that true that bones and the body decays?
yep, they do decay, correct.
And he will be right then. Isn't that true? What I am saying, does it make sense? Because body decays, yeah, sure. That is everybody experiences in this world. So, but they don't believe or they don't see the reason that this decayed body is not going to be given life again. And the Quran says it is strange. Why? Quran's reasoning is because they overlook how they themselves was created in this world in the form of body. Again, not necessarily, it doesn't exclude your suggestion, your contribution to the conversation. They don't see their spirit side. But the second question will deal with this subject. So we will go further, inshallah. But before going further into the details of this verse, I would just like to ask anybody else would suggest any further explanations? Feria?
No further explanation, but it just occurred to me rereading the verse that how it's pretty much explaining everything. I'm not sure if it's the way you translated it, because you say sometimes you work it out in such a way that it's easily understandable, because now I'm reading it, pretty much it's letting know, like, if you're not even pondering over creation right now, like questioning anything, I mean, forget about reasoning right now, just even questioning how you yourself were brought into existence, then obviously it becomes like a joke even saying then really, like, if you overlook like really the present situation, so like what is it to you in terms of a hereafter or like a resurrection? So if you do present like, hey, this life is serious and everything, then obviously it's gonna be like a obvious, not a counter argument, but like a flow. Hey, so okay, so who will give life to, dead bodies after we're gone? Like, I mean, the latter part won't even make sense to a person who's not questioning their present existence right now. And if you do propose it, you do present it, then obviously it's going to be followed. Oh, really? Like, really? Who's going to give it to it? Then it becomes like there's no pointless conversation.
Excellent point. Excellent point. Thank you. It's clear what you said. Now, the Quran's reason is reasoning, which the Quran teaches us. He says, while he overlooks how he himself was created, and then says, who is going to give life to my body? Although the second question, let's come to the second question. Then, as Feriha explained well, what the Quran also suggests us to reason in this way. So, how do you define death? From time to time, we touch upon this matter, and I think you all know by now. How do you define death? Please share your idea. What's death really?
Oh, I would say that it's a new beginning.
No, the death itself.
Oh,
No.
death. Oh, I see what you're saying. Death itself.
Yeah. So it is a new beginning. In order to say it is a new beginning, which means I have already accepted that my resurrection is guaranteed.
I didn't mean that. Yeah. Okay. I see your point.
Yeah. But what I mean, well, I feel that the question is not clear then, when you said this. Death itself, what is happening when somebody dies?
The physical body ceases to live, but the spirit like still is alive, right?
So, physical body ceases to live. Correct, Muawiyah? I think,
Yes, I would agree with that.
yeah, physical body doesn't function anymore. That is called death. But as Asim said, and Muawiyah also reiterated it, spirit doesn't die. That's what we have to make sure, that resurrection is subject to death, not spirit, because spirit doesn't die. Spirit is not a matter. It is not subject to change. It is not that it is created in the form of a kind of law. So law is not subject to change and death. Principles, as if human spirit is always in this world, as long as it is created, as long as its creator prefers it to exist, it keeps existing. And its potential is almost I mean, immeasurable. We cannot measure our potential. It is so large. So, understanding that death is subject to the body, resurrection must be subject to body as well. That is why we need it. We need to understand. Now, as Feriha said, Feriha, would you like to say something more?
No, I
Yeah.
was just gonna say that means stripping your body
Yeah, I mean,
off, leaving. Yeah, that was it.
yeah, let's put it in this way. Death is shedding. The spirit is shedding its body, its cover, and remaining alone, without body. So, as Feriha from the beginning said, if somebody doesn't look at the creation right now, this nesiya khalqa means forgets about its creation, and he denies, he can deny inevitably resurrection. He will say, oh, my body is lost, but this doesn't think from the very beginning how it was given existence, or it came into existence. That is why existence is the most essential subject we have to be clear about. And we have to talk and remember in our personal life always existence. Existence of spirit, existence of course, my feelings, existence of my ability to understand, to reason, existence of my movement, existence of the movement of matter, existence of a tree and its growing, it is life, all qualities we see in the universe, first and most of everything, everything, we have to question their existence. And what we understand that materialist people can defend their ideologies, which materialist necessitates deny the creation, materialistic worldview necessitates denying the creation. So they can only defend their ideologies by not taking notice of existence. And don't talk about existence. They don't like to talk about existence. They are just presenting a superficial idea, saying, however it happened, we exist. Maybe infinite number of universes existed, and this one only was an appropriate one. How the order would come into existence without any conscious choice. So they don't like it at all. They always escape this point. They don't want to mention. So recently I had an interesting experience with an AI, artificial intelligence. There are quite a number of AIs now coming up I don't know, very often. Anyways, with the recent one claimed to be the most developed, in some senses, of course, all AIs are concentrating on one aspect of the information more than the others. So no one can say that this AI is better than the other. I think they are specialized somehow, and only this people who are interested in whatever their specialty is, they follow this or they use this AI. Anyways, it is on the way to develop. Now, this so far I understood or I was introduced is the most advanced AI. I insisted about existence. I shared my experience with, I don't know, yeah, with some people. Not many, three or four, five, yeah, 5 people. Yes. So I shared, look, here is my paragraph, and here is AI's answer. It is obvious. It says, no, you are being unfair to materialistic worldview. They try to find the origin of existence or source of existence. Of course, they will do, but their speciality is to use this matter as it exists. But how they explain the motion of existence, explosion of existence, choosing the better way or another way, choice of the things, and the source of existence of the quality of choice, no answer. Just says, no, they work on, justification. They work on the how they find this universe is functioning. But very superficial, if you like, it tries to escape the question because they have no answer. They cannot explain the source of existence. That is why they can easily say matter is acting in this way. Life came into existence out of matter, and life wants to survive. Life has an inherent quality to choose to survive, to adapt itself to its environment. And all these kind of explanations, if you ask them, how about the source of existence of these qualities, they say either in matter or of course, energy. The energy and matter has in itself inherent, but this inherent quality, source of this inherent, even if you say inherent, although it's not, inherent quality, where did they inherit it from? Answer, no answer. But blindly defend materialistic worldview. It says you are being unfair. When I said materialist worldview has no base for its argument. You are being unfair to materialist interpreters or philosophers of creation. But what is the answer then? No answer. I was amazed. For some reason, believers don't emphasize, I don't understand, the importance of existence. Some Christian, very, I appreciate their effort, very devout people to put forward their ideas and challenge this materialistic worldview only from design perspective, not existence perspective, because they cannot. Because their understanding of existence is at the beginning God created and set everything in motion. Only Qur'an emphasizes on every moment the creation is renewed. Every moment the absolute being takes care of the creation, maintains the creation, every moment anew. Only Qur'an claims in the world. And unfortunately, Muslim scientists don't take notice of creation. Here, this verse is very interesting. As Feriha put it perfectly, after not taking notice of existence, khalqa. Nesiya khalqa literally means forgets about his creation. This translated this, overlooks his creation, overlooks how he himself was created, and then brings the subject of resurrection. If someone pays attention, he needed to be, he or the things, matter, whatever you call it, particles, need to be brought into existence. Resurrection, to believe in resurrection becomes inevitable, and argument then goes to Asim's point and Muawiyah's point as well. How? If we pay attention to the source of existence is needed, because there is nothing in the world which has the quality to give existence to anything, to its movement, to its whatever it's happening in the world. Coming into existence and doing something, no way to explain it within the contained of the universe. Within the capacity of the universe. No way to explain it. So, if we take if we pay attention to, as the Quran says, Nesiya Khalqa overlooks, bypasses his existence, then they can deny resurrection. Because matter happened to be by itself, matter has developed itself into a form of body, and matter itself couldn't sustain its existence as a living body, and matter failed. At the end, the death happened. Of course, matter failed to keep the existence, and they cannot give another existence again. So resurrection is impossible. That is why the question put forward, risen or raised by the disbelievers, who is going to resurrect, give life to decayed bones? This question is valid only after ignoring the existence, source of existence, the creation, coming into existence, being brought into existence. This is it would be a valid question if there is no creator and existence happened to be by itself. That is why, if we pay attention to creation, and then we have to understand that there is no other way but understand that we are, and everything is given existence by an existence giver, provider, which is called God, because the whole universe needs to be given existence, and whoever gave existence to the universe must be the creator, and we call it God. So only accepting that God is the initiator, creator of our life, our being, and then there will be no problem for me to understand that he can recreate it, because, as Asim and Mavia said, my spirit needs body. He, the creator of the universe, must be the creator of my spirit, and he created my spirit in the need of, or with the need of the body. Definitely he will take care of this need of the spirit, which needs a body. He is the one who arranged it this way. He knows what spirit needs, and we know that spirit doesn't die. So he created the spirit not subject to death, as long as he wills, of course. So resurrection subject becomes no problem at all. But the Quran is, mashallah, I would say it's admirable. 14 years ago, pointed out the problem, which addresses the materialistic interpretation of creation of 20th century world problem. وَنَسِيَ خَلْقَهُ, and then says, who's going to give life to my body after it is decayed? It is admirable. It's perfect. I mean, we have to utilize the Quran and read it really, really seriously. Inshallah, we will benefit from the teachings of the Quran by studying it seriously. Inshallah. Inshallah, we should spend more time. It deserves it. It is a wonderful, excellent text. Excellent. It gives all the answers to all human needs. But be careful. Okay. Let's come to more practical question, which is number 3. Do you really believe that you are going to die? So the following question, how about your feelings that don't want to die? Why? Or how do you reconcile them? Or another extension of another question here, why we are giving death while we are given feelings that don't want to die? How do you reconcile this contradiction? What is the wisdom, if you like, in its existence, if you see the wisdom? That's very practical, and it is very, very useful if we find an answer to this question today. Inshallah, it won't take long to understand. It's very, very useful, very practical, and solves many human problems. Of course, psychological problems, intellectual problems. Did I make my question clear?
Yeah, your question is very clear.
Yeah.
I would say that people don't really like to talk about death.
Yeah.
It's not something that you bring up in a regular conversation. So nobody really wants to talk about it.
Yeah.
As far as personal belief, of course, I think we all know it, but maybe we don't like to think about it either. When I think about it, I think that I don't want to be in pain. That's just the practical side of it.
Yeah, but why do you think people don't want to talk about it? not because they don't believe, not this way. There is a feeling that we don't want to die, correct?
Yes, I think so.
Now, who gave this feeling? Whoever created me, whoever gave me existence, gave me this feeling, correct?
Correct.
Correct. So while he gave me this feeling, at the same time, he is giving death. Isn't that contradiction?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a true contradiction unless you believe in the spirit and that the spirit will never die.
but the resurrection is subject to body.
Yeah, correct.
Now, this spirit says, I don't want to have a body which can be subject to death, but at the same time, the one who created the body creates death to the body. So why do you think the wisdom, what is the wisdom behind this contradiction? Is it useful or harmful? Does it put us into trouble, or somehow we can utilize it, benefit from it, and be happy that we are created in this way? This is just a rhetoric question, not rhetoric really. If you have any idea, I would like to hear. Otherwise, I will share my understanding and we will see whether it makes sense or doesn't make sense. Then we will go ahead with our studies accordingly and correct ourselves. And if I'm wrong, I will correct myself. I understand that only through death my spirit requires eternity. If there was no death, my spirit will say, I am happy. I don't need anybody else. I am as I am, enjoying my existence as I am. Now I'm thinking about my own feelings. I'm getting very close to death, very close. So why is it that I don't want? I say, oh, the one who gave me to my spirit to desire a permanent life, you must have some wisdom to give me this sense. I am coming to you because I know matter cannot do anything. I know only the creator, you, cannot, can satisfy my need. You are very wise, my creator. You want me to turn to you, feel that, you want me to feel that I am in need of you. That is why you gave me the sense not to dislike death, not to dislike illness, not to dislike being in needy. But you created me in needy. You created me with all sorts of health issues. You created me with a body which is subject to death. That is the best way that I can never forget by using this sense. I am always in need of you. So I will never forget that you exist and you are my refuge. Nobody else. I cannot trust the whole universe. They cannot give me my life. They cannot keep me my health. Only you are inviting me to be in contact with you, And you are inviting me to prostrate, to pray, to worship, to supplicate to you, only to you, nothing else. I cannot put my trust in anything, money, authority, fame, if no one knows me, maybe honor, or somehow some people may say I am an honorable. Everybody is honorable, by the way, but extra fame, being a celebrity, well, none of them can help me. None of them can save me. Only the owner of the universe, you, can save me. That is how you are inviting me to yourself and really teaching me not to disdain myself, to worship, to expect anything from created beings. They are like me. They are subject to death like me. Whatever they are, other human beings, other plants, other animals, other, I don't know, stars, galaxies, the whole universe is subject to death. Nothing can escape from your decision. So this is the way we can be happy as we are created, perfectly created, not to be the worshiper of created beings, but only turn to our expectations, hopes, prayers, worshipers to the creator of the universe. That is the beauty, wisdom, benefit of being created with this contradictory position. As far as I understand, beautifully arranged creation, beautifully arranged. We have to be thankful to create. Thank you very much. Go ahead.
So, Brother Ali, you're saying that pretty much questioning this need of not wanting to die will be the first step for me to reconcile this dilemma of I have this feeling of not wanting to die, and yet I experience death all around me, knowing that I'll die as well. And so the first step is really, I think, pondering over this feeling or this need of, this feeling of not wanting to die, which leads you to a need of wanting eternal continuation of your existence. And so from there, it makes you turn or pushes you to seek out to the source of your existence, to the originator, the one who gives you really existence, because that's the only solution you can find. It's just like acknowledge that you're right, exactly. And that was interesting point. And it was interesting also Anne's comment about people not wanting to talk about death. That's obvious. I don't know if anyone here has seen the movie Barbie. Raise your hand if you've seen it. Just wondering.
I haven't. I didn't know. Did this topic come?
It did suddenly, like, they're
That's
partying and suddenly she mentions, hey, do you guys think about death? And suddenly music stopped and everybody's like, what? Like, we don't want to listen to this. Like, why are you like ruining this whole party that's going
exactly.
on?
It's not a pleasant topic of conversation, and people will say, oh, this is too morbid.
Yeah.
That's funny.
You're right. Everybody knows it, but nobody wants to talk about it because I think there's this, I don't know, maybe there's this fear of like, how would I reconcile it? I think that's the whole thing, because nothing of this universe really brings any solution about it. Like, I think we have to really do an inner work within ourselves to find out the solution. Otherwise, going back to what Brother Ali was sharing about the AI piece, nobody talks about like how do you explain the existence, the source, the origin of anything? So obviously in that regards, everything becomes just useless, pointless. Like how do I solve this dilemma of death? And let me just, shun away from it. Let me just ignore it. Let me just not even talk about it. But I think getting back to what the verse is saying, really just even starting with the existence, how, like, are you even brought into existence? So from there, then you can go somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's very quick because the feeling of death, we all know, like we all see death around us. So not wanting to die, I think should lead to that. Just sorry, that was a little sidetrack, but it was interesting that, this topic is serious here.
Excellent, excellent. So thank you very much. Thank you. We don't want to talk about death because we are not aware of our existence, how we came into existence. We just take it for granted. Existence is taken for granted in this civilization, in this century. No one thinks that how come I existed? Oh, I exist. Yes, I am. So I think human honor is ignored, and only we talk about human honor. Just respect me, respect me. But I am so much degrading myself if I don't believe in the Creator, that I am expecting the dead things, furniture, car, property, money to satisfy me. Well, everybody knows that they are fake. Everybody is aware of it. So this materialist world or secular world lives in, they live in an imaginary world. We have to be aware of it and be thankful that we are not really dragged into this imaginary world by belief in the creator of the universe and say that I worship the creator of the universe. I am honorable because I am an honorable guest of the owner of this universe. Not because a handful of people applauded for me, or somebody said, "Oh, you are a nice man." "Oh, thank you very much." Well, I need it, yeah, to be nice. But when I assign myself to the slavery of created beings, needy, transient created beings, I wouldn't have any human honor at all. Whereas I look for honor. Everybody, I expect the people around me to respect me rather than God, the creator of the universe, respects me. Yes, huh?
Oh, I just wanted to add that in general, people seem to greatly look up to and greatly admire and want to emulate people who are quote unquote financially successful. I mean, you hear it all the time. People admire, or maybe not us, obviously, but in general, seems to be a lot of admiration for the accumulation of wealth. Like that person is really cool. That person, I want to emulate that person. It's really quite pervasive.
Yeah, unfortunately, but reality is obvious, isn't it? Rich dies,
Yeah,
poor dies,
yeah.
and kings, emperors died. Yeah, dictators die. Who doesn't die? So at the end, the equation ends up with zero. What is the point? As I say, your bank account is so fat, millions came in, millions went out, and billions remained in it. Equal, balance, zero. So what? You get 1 billion, 2 billions, and you spent at the end, finished with nothing at the end. Balance is zero. That is why I don't care how much entered into my account or exit from my account or I spent, finished. At the end, balance is zero. Every day I go to sleep, balance is zero. Why? Gone. Gone. Every day's balance ends up with zero. Gone. Zero. Whatever entered into my account is gone. So imaginary life, the people are cheating themselves. Unfortunately, we have to watch out and we have to be thankful because you know that I really admire Nursi's attitude, Nursi's interpretations, very, very admiring. He says, the most precious gift, bounty, blessings we have is not life, iman. Iman. Without belief in God, life is just a source of torture. Iman. And then he says, Islam, the religion of Islam, the Qur'an. Look at this one. If there was no other verse, only this verse, every verse has potentially significant meaning, but this reasoning is very realistic, solves all my problems. It's a very simple language. Nothing really, when you study the deep grammar and rhetoric side of the Quran, nothing really very much, many things that you don't have to know. No, you have to know. No. Very simple. Of course, why method is mentioned, these are interesting points. And when I see a khalqa, why wawisir, these are interesting, but fundamental idea is very simple, straightforward. Now, of course, it gives more detailed fine-tuning to the meaning. When you know why is it, for example, why doesn't say that the arrogant people said, when nesiya khalqa, forgot about his creation and said, who is going to create the bones when they are rotten, so decayed, ramim, they became like dust, completely decayed. It's beautiful. I really love the Quran. Okay, let's go more. The answer comes again. The answer is emphasizing the same logic sequences of reasoning. Would you like to say something more about the previous verse? Just I move to the following one without asking you.
No, that's fine.
Okay, let's go then. If anybody wants, they can always interrupt me. Bismillah. قل يحييها الذي أنشأها أول مرة وهو بكل خلق عليم. Interesting. Everything is interesting. So I will mention why I said interesting, because Ansha and Khalq are used following each other, but Ansha first pointed out these are interesting rhetoric of the Quran. Say, he who first brought them, it means previous verse, bones, into being, gives them life again. He has knowledge of every act of creation, again, creation, and gives life. Who have first, Ensha'aha is translated here to bring the bones into existence, but it has a slightly different meaning than khalq, to create. What is that? To build up. To build up. You know, building an apartment or something, a bridge, a road, is called the same word, Ansha'a. There was no apartment here or building here. Now a building appeared. This is structure of the bones. Of course, they are given existence, but they are not given just existence, but they are structured within a certain form, giving the certain shape and certain new existence. El-Sha'a also has this meaning, giving from scratch a new existence. But creation, of course, creating in general. But this verse draws our attention to they are instructed. For example, I was in the form of a cell, and I am created in a perfect order and took within a process of building up consciously, deliberately, and wisely. Being created, but not only given existence, but a perfect process of building up, structured up, giving the form perfectly. So whoever has done this, he who first constructed the bones into being, gives them life again. He is the one who is going to give life again. He has knowledge of every act of creation. It means bikulli khalqin alim. Kulli means every act of creation. So every stage of creation during this construction is created in the beginning, at the beginning. Now, this one is going to give it. He knows what he's doing. Alim, knowledge of every act of creation. So every act of creation is created, but this creation took place in a constructive way and decayed also in a constructive way again. I mean, it is not easy, of course, comparatively easy, but if you want to destroy a building, so demolition companies ask you a lot of money to destroy. Why? It needs speciality. So while I am getting old, deliberately, knowingly arranged and constructed, created and constructed, while I am growing from this at the stage of being created in the form of a cell, and then fetus, and then baby, goes on, and an old man and dead man. All of them are consciously subject to construction, deliberate, and share the verb. This verb is used here. And then creation side of it presented to our attention. So this is the way how the Quran argues that definitely if you pay attention to your creation in a planned, perfectly arranged way, construction, then you will find no difficulty in finding the resurrection definitely will happen, must happen, and will happen, because spirit needs it. And the one who created the spirit created my body, and after taking the body away, he will give me another body. It is inevitable. Because otherwise, it would be a contradiction to his being the Lord, sustainer, creator of the universe. It is unimaginable not to give my body again. Impossible. That is what this literal understanding of the verse is. My question, do you think this argument satisfies everyone if they pay attention to creation, if they pay attention to constructive way of creation, not giving existence and leaving it alone? No, perfectly arranging the creation. What do you think? Do you think this argument satisfies everyone if they don't deny and turn blind to creation?
Absolutely.
I mean, if they don't deny the creation,
Oh,
but
absolutely, it satisfies.
yeah, and the rest is easy, isn't it?
Hmm.
So, anyone else? I mean, logically consistent or not? That's what the aim of the question is.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's a
Consistent.
completely logical construction.
Somebody else wanted to say as well.
I was agreeing, yes, it's logically consistent.
You agree?
Yes. Because it goes back to our thinking about our original creation in a way. Whoever brought us, yeah, definitely.
So, unless they ignore creation, anyone, any human being, these human beings must have the faith in or believe in resurrection. They should find no difficulty in believing in resurrection. Definitely it will happen. And they will say, definitely, definitely. But even some people like me who believes in God and resurrection in general, but we are still frightened of the news of death. Yeah, when we hear that we are going to die tomorrow, now I pale and I lose all my energy. Why? Weakness of belief in creation, not necessarily God. I am created, which is my reality here. If I am created, there must be a creator. That is for sure. That is a necessary conclusion, or they call it, let me remember the word, corollary of my creation. It's a corollary of reasoning. So if I am created, there must be a creator. That is guaranteed. So Anyone else? Or the second question I will go. Do you notice the verse says, yuhyiha, gives life to them. It means bones. Now, means وَهُوَ بِكُلِّ خَلْقٍ عَلِيمٍ, creating a living body. So this gives life to them means who is doing what he is creating, who is knowing, who knows what he has created. So the created beings definitely witness that their creator knows what he is doing, because every creation is taking place within a perfect arrangement, deliberately, wisely arranged, everything. So do you notice the verse says, yuhyiha, gives life to them, means وَهُوَ بِكُلِّ خَلْقٍ عَلِيمٍ, creating and knowing that he is the one who is creating the living body. So he is the one who has created the living body. A living body must be the creator of another living body, since it is needed for my spiritual side. Again, we shouldn't forget that my spiritual side. The materialist people say, I just remembered, materialist people say this belief in the hereafter is just wishful thinking. However, we develop this understanding, human beings develop this understanding, they wish not to die. But, and that is a kind of imagination, they say. But everybody is born with this feeling, need. Every animal is created with this need. I am an intelligent person. I am means human beings, not me, and thinking, has intelligence. So as an intelligent being who has the ability, given the ability to think, I may learn from others. How about every living being, animal, every animal? If there is an harm, they run away from it. They don't want to die. Are they also learning from their society? With no exception. None of the animal wants to die. With no exception. These people are really simple-minded, and really they have a biased idea about their reality just to deny it. Have you seen any bird who would like to die? And even they are always escaping, keeping away from any kind of danger to their life. Do you think they are all learned from their environment? These people are really crazy, and if somebody consciously denies the Creator, consciously denies the hereafter, he deserves the hell for me, because he's not using his human qualities. God created them with the ability to understand it easily, and they don't. So they are just obstinate, arrogant people. They deserve some sort of warning and in this world, and consequently, punishment. Oh, I didn't notice that the time is really up. But would you like to say anything more so we can stop here, inshallah? It's a very exciting, simple way of understanding, not complicated at all, verses explain everything and teaches us comfortable. It is very comfortable to understand, not difficult at all. You don't have to be an intelligent, extra intelligent, extra high educated people. No, 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 no. Even you are, I am an illiterate, I would understand this and benefit from it. Alhamdulillah. Any more comment, any question, any concern? We can't stop otherwise. Okay, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعواهم أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. Thank you very much for your patience. We are 14 minutes late. Sorry for the delay, but
Thank
I'm
you so
excited.
much.
Yeah. This beautiful presentation of belief in Akhirah, unfortunately, it is not common. I mean, you don't hear in the Muslim community, the others don't bother, but in the community, look at how the Quran presents us simple, very simple, not complicated, everyone can understand. But I never hear people talking about resurrection and giving this reasoning. Human reason requires this. The Quran presents it. Why don't we benefit from the Quran? I am so surprised and puzzled. Why don't we benefit from the Quran for our to confirm, to consolidate our belief based on evidence and reason? I'm wondering what's the reason that we are depriving us of the benefit of the teaching of the Quran. You don't have to be a great scholar to understand these verses. No, ordinary people. Just take it seriously. That's it. Read it questioning. So simple. What does it say? What is it saying? What's the reason? Question it. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, I'm very pleased. Extraordinary.